Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to deliver the lecture on audit on shoulder dystocia. So before discussion on audit on the shoulder dystocia, I would like to tell you about the audit. What is an audit and how we conduct the audit? What is an audit cycle and what are the prerequisites responsible for the audit and why the audit is failed. So we will come on the first. What is an audit? That this is a quality improvement process that aims to improve the patient care and outcomes. And this is done by measuring the current practice against the explicit criteria, and then we see the implementation of the changes. It means it's a quality improvement process. Quality improvement process. And the aim of this is, what is the aim? Look this, to improve the patient care and outcome. जो हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, अपने मरीजों को क्या केयर दे रहे हैं, whether we are according to the standards or not. If we are not according to standards, then how we improve ourselves. So in this way, the patient quality, the care of the quality is improved. The quality of the care to the patient is improved, right? So this is a definition of the audit. What are the prerequisites? ना एवरी चीज जो भी हम काम करते हैं उसके लिए सबसे हमें पहले प्रीरिक्विजिटीज करनी चाहिए कि क्या क्या नेसेसरी चीजें हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ वी आर डूइंग forceps vaginal delivery, there are prerequisites for the forceps vaginal delivery. Or if we are doing the vacuum vaginal delivery, then we have the prerequisites for the vacuum vaginal delivery. So there are prerequisites for the audit. There are proper audit design, making an audit team. After making an audit team, we have take the permission from the ethical committee, because we have we need some assist to the patient notes and patient files. So it's very important to take a permission from the ethical committee. And then define the time period. किस टाइम के हम ऑडिट करेंगे, कितने मंथ्स की करेंगे और कब इसको रिपीट करेंगे, to see whether improvement of the changes has been done or not. और फंडिंग ऑफ द ऑडिट, कौन कर रहा है इसको फंड, involve all stakeholders and proper size of the audit. So audit ना तो बहुत लंबी होनी चाहिए ना बहुत छोटी होनी चाहिए. अगर बहुत बिग साइज होगा तो ऑडिट फेल्यूर हो जाएगी, और अगर बहुत स्मॉल साइज होगा तो उसका कोई बेनिफिट नहीं होगा. So these are some prerequisites: proper audit design, making an audit team, permission from ethical committee, define time period of audit and re-audit to assess the improvements, the funding of the audit, involve all stakeholders, and proper size of the audit. So this prerequisites can become in the exam is a ASCII questions or is a BCQ questions. So someone is only one answer is correct in the BCQ question. So you must know the prerequisites, what are points which are necessary for the prerequisites. Let's come to the what is an audit cycle. This cycle is a start. First, we have to identify the issues. What's an issue? What's the problem? And how or what is the topic? So first हमने identify करना है कि issue क्या है, topic क्या है, किस चीज की हम audit करना चाह रहे हैं. What's the problem there? Which problem is more common? So from where we get the problem, we know about the problem from the maternity dashboard or from the patient complaints. बहुत सारे पेशेंट ऐसे होते हैं जो कंप्लेन करते हैं हमारे मरीज का इन्फेक्शन रेट ज़्यादा हो गया है, हमारे मरीज की इंजरी हो गई है और यूरिनरी ट्रैक्ट इंजरीज हो गई हैं, या हमारे मरीज को डीवीटी हो गया है. तो ऐसी सारी कंप्लेंट्स आ जाती हैं, या हमारे बेबी ज़्यादा मर रहे हैं, और या कोई भी कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो गया है, तो मरीज हमेशा कंप्लेन करते हैं, पेशेंट्स कंप्लेन करते हैं. सो वी हैव टू टेक इन इश्यूज फ्रॉम पेशेंट कंप्लेंट्स कि क्या इश्यू ज़्यादा आ रहा है. एंड so this is called the audit identification of the issues or selection of the topic. After that, the second point, obtain or define the standards. अब हमने सिलेक्शन कर ली टॉपिक की, अब हमने क्या करना है, एक सेट स्टैंडर्ड्स डिफाइन करने हैं ना, कि ये सेट स्टैंडर्ड्स क्या होंगे. Standards are always taken in the percentages, and the source of the standards is the guideline, with the national guidelines or the international guidelines. So guidelines में suppose we are taking the audit on the shoulder dystocia or audit on the cesarean section rate. So the rate of the cesarean section, what is in the guidelines, or the rate of the shoulder dystocia, that is 0.5 to 0.7%. This is always taken in the percentage. So this the source of this incidence or the this shoulder dystocia, we have taken it from the Green Top guidelines. So we have to set and standards, and we see whether incidence of the shoulder dystocia is matched or standard or not, or there is a high rate of shoulder dystocia in our unit, right? So after that, how we see what we are doing, whether this is matched to the audit standard or not. So for that, we have to collect the data. So data will be collected. How we collect the data? Whether we first make the pro forma, and then we fill the pro forma, and then hand over these pro formas to the audit analyzer team, that is an IT team, and they will make results. So then we will compare our results with the standard, whether we are matching our results or not. So the fourth is to compare the performance with the standards. What's the performance? Or practice, what we are doing, that is our performance. So we will see whether we are doing according to the standards or not. If not, what's the reason behind it and how we improve these. So this results will be presented in the meetings, and in the meeting the recommendation will come up, and these recommendations will be distributed towards your unit, your hospital, or to the other person to see, to implement these recommendations. And after 1 year or 6 months, we have to re-audit again and see whether these the changes we are made in the recommendation, whether implemented or not. So this is totally the audit cycle. It's very clear to you. Number one, identify the issue, then they set the standards, then collect the data, compare our data with the standards, mean our performance with the standards, then make a recommendations and implement changes, again re-audit after certain periods. So this is an audit cycle. This is also can come in the exam is a BCQ question, or is a ASCII, or sometimes is a theory question. So coming to the audit on shoulder dystocia. So our today's topic is audit on the shoulder dystocia. So first, in the audit cycle, the first point is identify the topic or issue or the problem that is in shoulder dystocia. We have selected shoulder dystocia. So the topic should be very specific and selective, and consider whether my audit will improve the patient care or not. So टॉपिक हमेशा वही सिलेक्ट करना चाहिए जिससे किसी मरीज को फायदा हो, कम्युनिटी को फायदा हो, हमारे यूनिट को फायदा हो, कम्युनिटी को फायदा हो, पेशेंट केयर इंप्रूव होगी भी या नहीं होगी. सो हमने यहाँ पे सिलेक्ट किया है द शोल्डर डिस्टोशिया because this is very important topic, and the shoulder dystocia is associated with the maternal and the neonatal morbidity and the mortality, and it's an important source of the litigation. So if we are doing the audit of the shoulder dystocia, the incidence of the shoulder dystocia, and whether we are doing the correct menu timely or not, or cord pH has been done or not done. So this is totally the important topic, and by doing audit of this topic, that have an effect on the patient care to decrease the neonatal morbidity and the mortality and litigation. So the first step, अब हम लोग क्या करेंगे, टॉपिक सिलेक्ट कर लिया हमने शोल्डर डिस्टोशिया ना, उसके बाद आप लोग क्या करोगे, सबसे पहले आप लोग हॉस्पिटल एथिकल कमेटी के पास जाएंगे और वहां से परमिशन लेंगे कि हम लोग ये ऑडिट करना चाह रहे हैं और हमें परमिशन चाहिए. बिकॉज अगर आप लोग परमिशन नहीं लोगे तो यू कैन नॉट गेट असेस इनटू द पेशेंट फाइल्स. It's unethical to get the patient files without taking the permission from the ethical committee. So it's better to take an permission from the ethical committee. So after taking the permission from the ethical committee, you make the team, because आप अकेले कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So आपके पास टीम होनी चाहिए, और कौन सी टीम होनी चाहिए, आप किस किस को इन्वॉल्व करोगे ऑडिट में. So आप खुद होंगे, me myself, my supervisor, and the persons who are working in the labor room. So it may include your house officers, your postgraduates, your midwives, and the neonatologist, which is also involved in the audit, and the anesthetist, the midwife, nurses, and stakeholders. You can involve the stakeholders in your audit. Otherwise, your audit is the changes, if we are making the changes, it's not implemented once the stakeholders are not involved. So you have to set your team first. So after setting your team, you're taking the permission and the topic selection. आपने ये पहला स्टेप तो पूरा कर लिया. उसके बाद आप लोग आएंगे द ऑडिट साइकिल के दूसरे स्टेप में, डिफाइन द क्राइटेरिया एंड द स्टैंडर्ड्स. अब हम लोग ले रहे हैं शोल्डर डिस्टोशिया में, तो स्टैंडर्ड्स आर ऑलवेज इन द परसेंटेज. आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू दिस स्टैंडर्ड्स आर ऑलवेज इन द परसेंटेज and the source of this standard and criteria from the national or international guidelines. For the topic of the shoulder dystocia, we have taken green top guidelines on the shoulder dystocia. For example, and it's taking in the percentages. If the incidence of the shoulder dystocia is 0.7% and 100% compliance with all variables, the audited topics. So if I'll choose the time to be to be done in a previous 6 months. So what I'll do the audit of the shoulder dystocia of all cases which are all the patients who develop the shoulder dystocia in previous 6 months. And the sample size, that's the previous 6 months. That is the time. So all women who develop the shoulder dystocia in previous 6 months is your sample size. Now coming to measure the current practice. हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे मेजर करेंगे कि हम लोग सही प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम लोग सही सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं. तो हम लोग करेंगे डेटा एनालिसिस. और ये डेटा एनालिसिस कैसे करेंगे? There are two methods of the data analysis, whether we are doing the retrospectively or prospectively. So retrospectively, if we are taking in a data from the patient notes and patient files, it's very easy and it's having a less time consuming. But there is some drawback of some data are missing in the files because everyone cannot fill the data properly. So some data is missing in the files. This is a drawback of retrospective, but its good point is that the data, it's a very short time. You know, in a short time, even in the 1 or 2 days, we have to complete our audits. So if we get taking all data, we have filled the pro forma. So within a week, we have complete our audit, what we are doing in our audit. So prospective, coming to the prospective, it's a bias. Why? Because everyone know the audit is running in the unit, so everyone will follow the standards. हर किसी को पता होगा कि यूनिट में audit चल रही है, हमारी मीटिंग होगी और हमारा बेड नेम होगा, तो ये लोग वही सही काम करेंगे जो अकॉर्डिंग टू स्टैंडर्ड है. इसमें एक बियास आ जाएगा. आप लोग ऑडिट तब करो जब किसी को पता ही नहीं हो कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं, whether they are follow the international levels, national levels or not. जब उनको पता होगा कि हम ये हमारी ऑडिट होगी, अभी हमारी खींचतानी होगी, तो they are following theirs. So prospective is really biased. So that's why we are taking the retrospective data. And for data collection, we design the pro forma. So the data collection pro forma, that is a biologic questionnaire, should be simple and easily readable. It contains the essential data only. That include the patient. It contain only the essential data. बहुत सारा लंबा प्रोफार्मा हमें नहीं चाहिए. जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीजें हैं जस्ट वो ही चाहिए. उसमें इम्पोर्टेंट क्या क्या चीजें होंगी मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. जैसे पेशेंट नेम एंड डॉक्टर नेम एनोनिमाइज्ड होगा. ना आप पेशेंट का नाम लिखेंगे ना आप डॉक्टर का नाम लिखेंगे कि किसने परफॉर्म किया है. ठीक है. सो दीज आर द एनोनिमाइज्ड. द डेटा आर यूजुअली सेव्ड इन एक्सेल फाइल. आप लोगों ने सारे फॉर्म फिल कर लिए और उसको एक्सेल फाइल में सेव कर लिया. और फाइनली एक्सेल आपको रिजल्ट्स दे देगा. These results are in the form of the pie charts or in the form of the graphs, and then you have to present the results. अभी हम आप आते हैं प्रो फार्मा की तरफ के एक एग्जांपल में दे दूं. फॉर द शोल्डर डिस्टोशिया, that is a patient identifier without names, like registration number और patient कोड नंबर में होता है ना, तो पेशेंट नंबर 1 2 3 4 5 और फिर अकॉर्डिंग उसके नाम लिखे होते हैं. पेशेंट नंबर 1 पे ये था, 2 पे ये था, 3 पे वो था. तो यू हैव टू टेक इन अ पेशेंट कोड and date of the delivery, or during delivery the patient who have developed the shoulder dystocia call for help. आप लोगों ने किया था या नहीं किया था, एपिजियोटमी दी थी या नहीं दी थी, कौन से मैन्यूअर यूज किए थे, एंड द टाइमिंग्स ऑफ द ईच मैन्यूअर, एंड वेदर सीनियर को कॉल किया था. जब सेकेंड लाइन मैन्यूअर फेल हुए थे तो थर्ड लाइन मैन्यूअर में किसने कौन आया था. ठीक है. और जब बेबी डिलीवर्ड हुआ तो कार्ड पीएच बेबी का लिया था या नहीं लिया था, इंसिडेंट रिपोर्टिंग की थी नहीं की थी, न्यूनेटोलॉजिस्ट प्रेजेंट था नहीं था, हमने इमरजेंसी चार्ट को फॉलो किया था जो हेल्पर मैन्यूअर था उसको किया था या नहीं किया था. तो इन दिस वे यू हैव टू मेक एन प्रो फार्मा. सो द गाइडलाइन सेज दैट The call for help in all cases mean 100%. The episode being given in all cases mean 100% because we need the maneuvers. So we need in some space to get entry into the pelvis, get entry into the vagina. So episode being given in all cases. The maneuvers used according to the protocols, the helper maneuvers, and the time for each maneuver should be mentioned. Cord pH should be taken in all cases. Incident reported should be done in all cases, mean 100%. So these are the 100%. I already told you that you have set the standard, the criteria in the percentage. So incident report in 100%, cord pH in 100%. So after filling this pro forma, we see whether we are doing in 100% or not, because the guideline says this is in the 100% of the cases you have to call for help or episiotomy or the cord pH, the incident reporting. So let's see what we are do. Then after taking this, we have to fill all files, all pro forma, and these pro forma should be entered into the Excel sheets, and Excel sheet will analyze the data by audit team. Audit team Excel sheet में डालेगी और फिर analyze करेगी data को, or this data will be presented in the pie charts and the table. So these results are coming now. The next step after data collection is to compare the performance or practice with the standards. तो हम लोगों ने जब डेटा कलेक्ट किया तो उसमें देखा हमने क्या किया था, तो हमने क्या इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड से फॉलो किया था, वो हमने कॉल फॉर हेल्प की थी 100% में, कार्ड पीएच दिया था हमने हमने सीनियर्स को कॉल किया था, हमने एपिजियोटमी दी थी नहीं थी और कितने परसेंट में दी थी कितने परसेंट में नहीं दी थी. सो दैट इज एन क्वांटिटेटिव एंड द क्वालिटेटिव. क्वालिटी मीन द अगर नहीं दी थी मीन क्वालिटी थी ना हमारी, हमने नहीं दी, हमने हमने सही क्वालिटी नहीं दी है, तो क्यों नहीं दी, व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम देयर, दैट्स अ रूट कॉज एनालिसिस. अगर पीडियाट्रिशियन 100 केसेस में नहीं था, 100% नहीं था, तो क्यों नहीं था, व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम देयर. सो हम वी आर गोइंग टू रूट कॉज एनालिसिस. पीडियाट्रिशियन बिजी था, अवेलेबल नहीं था, लीव पे था, व्हाटएवर, या हमने कॉल नहीं किया. और कमिंग टू द कार्ड पीएच, अगर हमने कार्ड पीएच नहीं दिया, व्हाई, हमें नॉलेज नहीं थी, फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, या कार्ड पीएच एनालाइजर खराब था. तो ये हमने रूट कॉज एनालाइज देखना है ताकि हमने रिकमेंडेशन में वही चीजें देनी है. ठीक है. सो क्वांटिटेटिव एंड द क्वालिटेटिव डेटा एनालाइज इन द टू वेज, रिजल्ट्स इन द टू वेज. सो क्वांटिटी mean incidence of the shoulder dystocia in my unit is 0.5 to 0.7%, mean 100% match with the international. So that is a quantity. And the quality हमने क्या दी. ठीक है. So these results once come up, the results will be presented in a meeting. In the meeting, अब हमने मीटिंग में किस किस को बुलाना है, किस किस को ये रिजल्ट शो करने. हमने मीटिंग में अपने स्टेक होल्डर्स को बुलाना है, पूरा स्टाफ which are involved in the management of this shoulder dystocia, from midwife, pediatrician, anesthetist, house officer, postgraduate resident, and your consultants. So all the staff must be present to see what's the problem there and how we improve this. And then you have to notify them through mail or take for good attendance. अगर attendance अच्छी होगी तो recommendations भी अच्छी आएंगी. So in the meetings we have to avoid the blaming atmosphere. We are soft on the person and hard on the issues. So no blaming environment. हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है कि ब्लेमिंग, एक दूसरे को ब्लेम करते हैं ना, इसने ये किया था मैडम, इसने ये किया था. सो नो ब्लेमिंग एनवायरनमेंट, सॉफ्ट ऑन द इश्यूज एंड हार्ड ऑन द soft on the persons and hard on the issues. The next point in the audit cycle is the recommendations. In the meeting, all members will critically evaluate result of the audit and come up with the recommendations. So it's better to sign off all these recommendations by the stakeholders, and we have to publicize these results of the audit and distribute the recommendations. How we distribute the recommendations? So हम लोग कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं ये रिकमेंडेशंस. पहले तो हमने प्रेजेंट कर ली ऑडिट इन वार्ड मीटिंग, जब उसमें सारा स्टाफ आ जाता है. ठीक है. देन यूजिंग द ऑटोमेटेड नोटिफिकेशन सिस्टम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट थ्रू ईमेल्स, लेटर्स टू जीपीस, लोकल जर्नल्स एंड पब्लिश ऑफ द ऑडिट. तो ये रिकमेंडेशंस क्या हैं? ये रिकमेंडेशन ये थी कि ऑल हाई रिस्क पेशेंट who are high risk for the development of the shoulder dystocia should be scrutinized. So staff को ये पता होना चाहिए कि शोल्डर डिस्टोशिया कौन सी औरतें डेवलप कर सकती हैं, कौन सी वुमेन शोल्डर डिस्टोशिया के लिए हाई रिस्क है, एंटीनेटल ग्रुप और इंट्रानेटल इंट्राबॉटम ग्रुप. So coming to the antenatal group, women who have the previous history of the shoulder dystocia, the macrosomia when weight is more than 4.5 kg, the woman who is the diabetic and BMI is more than 30 kg, and women who have an induction of the labor. So ये हम antenatally select करेंगे कि high risk है for the shoulder dystocia. ठीक है. So intrapartum, the woman who is in prolonged first stage of the labor, the second ERS, the prolonged second stage of the labor, the oxytocin augmentation and assisted vaginal delivery. These women um, have a high risk for the shoulder dystocia. So staff must know the reason for the risk of the shoulder dystocia and how they recognize that there is a shoulder dystocia. So this is a turtle sign. They must know what's the turtle sign and what's the shoulder dystocia and what are the risk factor for the shoulder dystocia. So that's why they scrutinize the woman accordingly. And अगर 4 kg से diabetic woman है और 4 kg से बड़ा बच्चा है और more than 4 kg, then you have to go for elective cesarean section to avoid the development of the shoulder dystocia. All birth attendants should diagnose the shoulder dystocia, and they must know the techniques, the maneuvers, how to deliver the shoulder dystocia. So if first and second stage maneuver fails, they must give someone to the senior for the third line maneuvers. Staff must be aware about the PPH and perineal tear. ऐसे नहीं कि हमने बच्चा डिलीवर करवा दिया, शोल्डर डिस्ट्रोशिया का बच्चा निकल गया, मगर उसको टेयर्स आ गए माँ को और PPH हो गया, वो हमने निगलेक्ट कर लिया. So we must know about the complication of the shoulder dystocia, and baby must be examined by the neonatologist. So neonatologist must be present at the time of the delivery for any birth injuries and for cord PH. So debriefing of all events should be given to the parents, and incident reporting should be done in all cases of the shoulder dystocia, because it is an important cause of the litigations. All maternity staff should be participate in shoulder dystocia training and on the mannequins and annually workshops. Documentation is proper and accurate to avoid the litigations. So this is on the shoulder dystocia, and these are the recommendations. Now coming to the factors which are responsible for the failure of the audits. Why there is an audit failure? So lack of understanding of the hospital or community-based process leading to the audit that were too large in scope of misdirection. Either failure to involve the stakeholders, either no secondary analysis of the issue revealed by the audit, or no piloting of the audit. Lack of authority to motivate actions by stakeholders, and unable to effectively publicize the results. So this is an audit. If the examiner will ask you about how you, this is the brief about the audit, how we do the audit, and if the examiner will tell you, how to do the audit. So how you explain in the front of the examiner, if the examiner tell you how you conduct the audit of the shoulder dystocia, you will say that my topic of the audit is the increased incidence of the shoulder dystocia in my unit. Then I'll go and speak to my supervisor that I want to do the audit on the shoulder dystocia, and then I'll go to ethical committee. Then I'll get the permission from the ethical committee in the hospital. After that, I will get my audit team that's ready, in which I involve my supervisor and those who will help me in data gathering and data analysis. After that, I'll set my standard, which should be from the NICE guideline on the shoulder dystocia or from RCOG guideline on the shoulder dystocia, and that would be 0.5 to 0.7%. After that, I want to do my study. I choose to do the retrospective study. It will be shorter and easier, but the drawback is that some information may be missing in file notes of the patient. Then I'll choose to be done in the previous 6 months. The time of audit would be previous 6 months, and my sample size include all those women who developed shoulder dystocia in the previous 6 months. I'll then design my pro forma for the data collection. It includes the patient demography, which includes the patient identifier without name, the date of the delivery, the call for help, the episode being given or not, manure used, the timings of each manure, the cord pH has been done or not done, incident reporting in all cases or not, neonatologist attended or not attended, emergency shot followed or not followed. So make a pro forma very easy. Once my pro forma is ready, what I'll do, I'll collect the data from the patient files, and these files hand over to the IT team, and IT team will enter all these pro forma data to the Excel sheets and analyze the data and get a results. Once the results available, they are usually available in the pie charts and the tables. These results will be handed over to me by the audit team, and then I'll go and present these results in the meeting of the hospitals. Then in the meeting members will critically analyze the audit and come up with the recommendations, and these recommendations should be distributed in the hospital, and we will see whether this recommendation has been implemented or not implemented. For that, we will do the re-audit after 1 year, because shoulder dystocia is a rare topic. So we will evaluate the recommendation of the audit are carried out or not, and if changes was done or not done. So this is all about the topic of the audit. If you have any question, please ask.